Discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Super-Skill Pinball 4-Cade, which is a excellent example of a, roll and write and an awesome theme that I never would have thought worked. This was actually brought to my attention by Brad during our top 10 of 2020, and I was like, really? One, a roll and write, and two, pinball? Okay, that just sounds like it'll be awful. But I gotta say, it executes it extremely well. I am pleasantly surprised. Now, you might be wondering, why did I play this solo for the run-through? And there's a couple reasons for that. One, mainly the biggest reason is the fact that I have played this with multiple people, but you interact with them extremely, like, zero times do you interact with them. Not even with dice do you interact with them. You don't screw each other over, you don't use dice, you don't interact with anyone when playing pinball. It's pretty much a solo experience, so my thought was, well, why would I just have other people here? Because you don't talk to each other. You're not talking about what's happening. You're just rolling the dice. This really, yes, does it play with multiple people? It does. You can play this with 4 people. Should you? Not really. And here's, so pretty much my only negative is that this game can go on a little too long, and that's not great for this theme. Which sounds weird because, excuse me, because when you're playing pinball, and there's actually 2 weird things about this game. When you're playing pinball, it is exceptionally fun to keep the game going whenever all the lights, all the sounds, all the cool gimmicks of a pinball machine are going off. Because you're distracted by that. You're distracted by, watching the ball, and then hitting the 2 buttons for the flippers, watching it hit the bumpers, watching it go up and then shoot out, and then just oh, you have multi-ball, so you're going crazy, and you're involved in it the entire time. And here it executes that extremely well in the ideas of a board game, in a roll and write, but you're still missing, of course, all the flashy lights and the brain stimulus, the whatever that keeps you engaged. So whenever you're playing by yourself, you get to think out loud, you get to talk, but when you're playing with other people, it's just one person's rolling dice. Okay, 4-4. Boop. All right, done. All right, 2-1. All right, 2-4. That's literally it. Everyone's just waiting for one person to roll the dice, and then they make their decisions on their board. And the other negative for playing with multiple people is the fact of, okay, because your rounds and your game ends different than theirs. Like, if they're able to utilize their, the dice maybe a little bit better than you, or oh, hey, this 2 can go here or here, it's going to be, I'm going to go in a different direction than the other players, then I could be in round 3 while someone could theoretically still be in round 1. So whenever you're done with your game, you sit there and you're like, all right, my final score was 110, and you just sit there waiting for them, and hey, maybe you can be the die roller and to give someone a chance. It's not player elimination, it's just the fact that the game is the whole game's simultaneous. So for the ideas of the run through, I was like, there's no point in me having other people here to play this when I'm showing them the exact same game. Because while these different themes are fantastic, and they are different, it's still, there's not enough decision here to warrant having multiple people. The only thing you lose is just, oh, hey, who won? Instead of kind of a beat your own high score. Because even on the back, you can keep track of your high score. So it's kind of like you put in your initials, and I'd put, 2, whatever I had, 212 or 215. And then they have different achievements. So this game seems like it was built and made for solo play, but they're like, oh, well, to appeal to a lot of people, yeah, you can play with others. And you can. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, for me and my personal taste, I just don't see a point. Now, here's the second weird thing about this game. Normally, if you're playing a game and there's a particular theme that that gravitates towards someone else more than others, like for example Bloodborne. When I did my discussion for that one, I talked about how, you know, as a game by itself, if you have no affiliation with Bloodborne, I still believe it to be an 8. It's a 9 for me because Bloodborne's my favorite video game. Now, but I can still be like, hey, you don't have to know the theme of Bloodborne to enjoy this game. I don't think that's the case here. I really, really feel like this game shines way better if you've actually played a pinball machine. Now, obviously, not everyone's going to agree with that. They might love the idea of the the mechanisms of rolling the dice and having the ball bounce around, but I really feel you get into it way more whenever you understand how a pinball machine works. You're understanding why there's different zones, why you're dropping it, what the flippers are doing, why you can only use a flipper to bounce off and hit the bumpers, and then hit the little flags, or it just seems to click extremely well with this theme if you've seen a pinball in action. And I can only go off of my own experience, where the last time I played this, we did the carnival one. It was me, Kat, and Brett, who Brett is the newer guy you guys have been seeing. And him and I have played pinball machines. He used to own one, and Kat had never played a pinball machine. So she's just like, yeah, we're just writing numbers down and moving this silver ball, okay? And I'm trying to explain to her, you know, what a pinball machine does, why it's doing certain things, you know, how you increase your score and all that. And she thought the game was boring. It's just like, okay, I'm not really seeing it. Yeah, I get it. The game is extremely simple, and the mechanism. But it makes it so much better when you understand that the dice in this game represent the luck of the way the ball is moving. Understanding why nudging and tilting is you know, a phrase, like nudging the machine to get the ball to go a certain way, and then getting tilted when it doesn't, and you're just like, fuck, and you just like flip the machine. It's just, it's so weird, because sometimes there's themes where it's just like, oh yeah, I don't know anything about it. Battlestar Galactica, for example. No, I don't know anything about that world, but the game is phenomenal. And it's just like, I feel with this one that it makes the roll and write, you know, second nature, because you're really because you can visually see the pinball machine going off. Now, with all those weird negatives, I mean, they're not even really negative, they're just observations. This game is so much fun. It's so, I mean, the idea of just taking 2 dice and then moving, like, you just roll them, and it's just so simple that, but you have, how do I want to utilize one of these numbers? And then if you get multi-ball out, then you have to use both numbers to have the balls bounce around, and then you try and just rack up your points. And there are 4 machines in the game. They have the Carnival, which is like the carnival one. They have a Cyber Hack one, the Dragon Slayer, and then the Dance Fever, and they all increase in difficulty. I've only played the Carnival and the Dragon Slayer, and I mean, just by those 2, even just from seeing what the other ones are, because half the rule book, you know, there's the rule book, and then there is just explaining the special rules of the different machines. And I gotta say, yeah, the Carnival is definitely the easiest one to play. The Dragon one, this one was so freaking cool. In the fact that, I mean, because this is supposed to, the top sheet is supposed to represent the backdrop, so it's supposed to sit like this. It'd be cool if they actually had stands, so it actually did sit kind of like that instead of being flat. Like, that would have just made it an extra like an extra touch, which would have been sexy. But yeah, the fact that whenever you go up in, you can cast spells, which are, I mean, in the Carnival one, you just had to hit certain bumpers, and then it gave you, you know, a skill shot, or it gave you the multi-ball or something. And here you had to work, you had to gain XP to go up in your levels, and then you had to gain a scroll to learn a spell, all while trying to get the Dragon's Horde to go up. And then if you're able to pop that off, then you get a shit ton of points, and then you can finagle it. I honestly probably could have kept going a little bit longer in my run through. But I mean, that's the thing, is even for me, I was like, alright, I mean, I am at the end of the day playing by myself. I don't need to keep going. And if that would have been another example, if I was playing with other people, that you could just add insult to injury. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna keep going. Oh, you both are out. What's your score? Oh, I'm 100 points ahead of you. Okay, well, I'm gonna still keep going. It's weird. This game is odd with those negatives, with those issues that I have. But the fact of leveling up, and it's just so cool with the multipliers that you have. I mean, there's so much mitigation. Like, yes, you can roll and be like, oh man, I can do nothing with those. But the fact that you can get skill shots, which they'd be like, oh, I got a 1 and a 6. Oh, I need a 4. Boom. Okay, I have a 4 skill shot. Okay, I'm gonna alternate and turn it to that. Or if you don't have a skill shot ready, you can nudge it. And that is your way of, I mean, it's a risk reward. You can sit there and be like, I absolutely need a 1. And we got double 6s. Great. I mean, you're throwing away the round because the difference of the dice has to be equal to or higher than what you took. So going from a 1 to a 6 would be a difference of 5. And I mean, well, I guess if you rolled another 1 or a 6. It's the nudging is just such an excellent mechanic, because you can at least 3 times in a game, you can guarantee get what you need. And in games like this with roll and writes, I think that's almost crucial, because there's nothing more annoying than, I mean, yeah, they're filler games, but it's like, I mean, you guys know at this point how I feel about filler games. It's like almost like, what's the point? Especially if you're just rolling dice and just, oh, okay, I got a 3 and a 3. Kind of like on tour or something, where it's like, all right, let's roll 2 dice. All right, there's a 6 and a 7. All right, 6, 7, 76 somewhere, and that's just that. The fact that it has the nudging and it fits for the theme, and you get exactly what you need, I love it. I think that's fantastic. Love the idea of, okay, it shoots off the ramp, and then the two, there's only 2 colors. There's a yellow and a red bumper. And yes, whenever the ball's up and it can't bounce in the same zone, you have to lower it to another zone, but it can hit anything in that zone. But then, like, oh, okay, the yellows can only hit yellow numbers, and then reds can only hit red numbers, and then whites, any bumper can hit that if that's what they're coming from. They have, like, the lanes. In the Carnival one, they have the lanes that if it hits, it goes up, and then you have to go in ascending order like that to get, I think it's 20 points. It executes this theme so well, and it says 30 minutes on the box. I think that's going to be dependent on how well you're doing and how well you're utilizing the dice, and 2, how many people you're playing it with, because I feel like it's going to extend longer, and it depends on which machine you're using. If it's higher in difficulty, that most likely is going to mean that you have more options to be able to mitigate and keep the game alive, versus just, oh, I got 2 5s and I have no skill shot, I have no nudges left, my flippers are filled out, it's just falling, that's just what it is. That's going to be not as straightforward, especially in the Dragon Slayer, where you can get 2 ball saves, and you can get spells that erase your bumpers, so then you just I always said erase bumpers. I thought it was erase flippers. But you can just cast spells to keep it alive. It's fantastic. I absolutely think this is an awesome roll and write that you can play literally with anyone. But I still believe this is a solo game. Now, I really think that they could easily support this. Like the WizKids, 20 years WizKids, Jeff Engelstein. Oh, why does the name sound familiar? I feel like he's designed other stuff. Excuse me. But I don't know what off the top of my head. But this could easily be supported. They could make Super-Skill Pinball 5-Cade or whatever, because the 4 that they have, I mean, even though I've personally played the 2 of them, are so radically different from one another. Yeah, I would love to have like another set of 4, just to have more themes, like different ideas of pinball machines, because I love pinball in real life, so it translates exceedingly well here. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what they do. This could just be a one-off throwaway idea, but I believe it did pretty well. I remember seeing it on a lot of people's top 10 lists, and I just knew nothing about it, and I'm like, oh, okay, sure, I'll give it a shot, and was pleasantly surprised. So that's my thoughts on the Super-Skill Pinball. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give this an 8. I think it. I mean, it encapsulates the pinball experience very well. I mean, you could probably just find like a 10-hour video of pinball sound effects on YouTube when you play it, because that is really all you are missing here. Basically, you have a pinball machine here, you just don't have any of the lights or the sounds. And other than that, you got a pinball game in 2D form. So I think it's great. So that's my thoughts on the Super-Skill Pinball 4-Cade. Let me know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.